Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House for tonight's edition of the Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks along with Joe Cervi and head coach John Wristen. So we have our snacks galore in front of us. We got Joe's favorite, the Caprese. We've got the Macho Nachos. That's new. And the sausage sliders. Love it. So we're all set to go here for the final home game edition, I guess, of the Car Pros John Wristen Show is the home finale. Yours now? Are we good? All right, it's good. All right.
Hey, these nachos, I had a bite before we went on the radio. I had more than one bite. That's awesome.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, we need to get the Nardini brothers down there to have some nachos for sponsors.
Absolutely. Car Pros guys, come on down.
They should come on and join us. That'd be good. You know, they could even bring that hack Tracy McManus with them again.
All the time you spend with Doug Nardini, just chalk up to life experience because he's a fun guy. He's very passionate.
There they go. They got us pumped into the building now. There we go. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the
John. All right, everybody have fun out there. And ladies and gentlemen, here's Big Wayne.
Big Wayne.
Okay.
Big Wayne hasn't missed a game.
He loves it.
In 4 years, 4 straight. He's been to every away game the last 4 years.
Yeah, hand signals.
3 games, 3 years.
There we go.
3 years. He hasn't missed. He's traveled with us all over.
That's cool.
I really enjoy seeing him.
Well, Johnny, a great win on Saturday. Nice bounce-back victory for the Pack.
Yeah, we've got... It was one of those things that I think that, as we've stated before, all the importance of gaining the momentum and watching that build. I challenged our guys about responding from the week before, and I really said our character got revealed when you didn't respond in a certain way. But it also has a chance to show what your character's made of the following week. Some teams can't do that. And I'm very proud of this team, and we were able to come back and show what we're made of and how we played, and I was really excited about the way we handled our business.
Well, it started pretty much from the get-go with the defense. I mean, it's nice to get that spark to be on the other end of a pick six, and Darius... 3. We had 2 this game and 3 for the year now.
Well, it was
Emery got the other one.
Emery got the other one.
Third one for the year.
Right. But it was Black Hills had played Western State the week before, and Black Hills had 2 interceptions against Western State and really turned the tide for them. Well, when that happened, I said, well, we're giving them their own medicine right there. Right. And it was really nice to be on the end of that. And our kids responded. I'm really proud of this fact, Jim. In Emery's interception, I pointed out the week before when Tanner intercepted the pass that we didn't strain enough to help him get in the end zone. I mean, we were there, but we didn't strain.
Right.
Well, this week, it's very rare you have 11 people in the frame. And you have 11 people, one with the ball running, and it looked like the Red Sea, and the white shirts were behind him because we just paved a way for him to get in. It was absolutely one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time coaching.
Well, Joe called it one of the best returns in the history of Thunderbolt football. I mean, it was just the way he weaved up and down the sideline and used those blocks and cutting back and forth. It was really cool.
Well, I thought the difference between really that's the week before and this week was we saw guys running to the ball, running the way Pac football should be played. And it was really awesome to be able to see 11 guys in on the frame to be able to get that done, because you don't usually see that. And maybe guys are wondering on their air, but no, you don't see 11 guys in the frame. And you can freeze it, you can play it. There's 11 guys in the frame, what I think is very impressive, because that's all about attitude and effort, and we showed that on that play.
Well,
they don't just try and pick off passes.
Yeah.
They try and score. I mean, obviously everybody tries to return it as far as you can, but these guys are ball hawks to the point where they're not only ball hawks, but they'd be pretty good running backs.
Well, one of the first things that Coach Liamini starts his meetings is score. And the only way you can score is that you have the ball. And so we have the ball so we can be able to score, and so that's all tied into being able to get that. Yes, they are very talented with the ball in their hands.
Well, and the other thing is impressive in the ball game, the offense got back to work running the football. I thought some great power running in that ball game. Even when we had gains of 4 or 5 on certain runs, it was like you're getting after people, trying to impose your will on them.
Well, we're able to cover people up. And when that happened, we want to go one-on-one with the safety, and Marche went one-on-one and won that battle.
Exactly, and he had another great ball game. And it's the one run up the middle there where it's kind of astonished me on the call because he banged in there, and you just figure he's going to maybe go down for 3 or 4 yards, and all of a sudden he's sprinting on into the end zone. I mean, he kind of threw his own block is what it looked like on the replay. Well,
it was on Thursday when I have my talk with the guys. I showed how it's in their DNA how to respond. And so I took 2 plays. It happened to be the week that we played Chadron right after we lost 14. And I showed them the enthusiasm on the sidelines. I showed them what tremendous effort was on both offense and defense. And so I think we matched that and added some to that.
Well, I look at Marche Denard, and I equate him to working an early shift. He came out, he did his job. Yes, I'm Marche Denard. Boom, boom, boom. Score, all these yards. Now I'm going to take the 4th quarter off. Maybe a little bit of the 3rd, too. I put in, I'll work a double next week if I need to, but I'm going to call it light tonight.
Well, he brings his lunch pail to work.
Yes, he does. And you know what I like about him is, and I know you appreciate this about him, is he's a practice player.
He does work hard in practice.
There are certain guys out there that I've seen through the years who think practice is as much fun, if not more fun, than the games, and they go hard in practice. And Marche is one of those guys.
I think Marche has really enjoyed his second chance, per se, and he's going to maximize every minute he has and be able to say that, hey, I'm not going to take things for granted.
Well, and the other guy who is of this unit who's a great practice player is Austin Minchy. I mean, you got 2 running backs that love the game, that want to be out there on every play, that work hard. They run it. Remember the old, when you first started the program, whoever ran a play, they had to go to the end zone.
Right.
You had to finish. Yeah. And it was for years where you had, and that was a Steve Sewell thing, I believe, where you had to finish. If it was a running back, you did your drill and you had to finish. And Austin and Marche both do that now still.
Well, we always still emphasize touching the blue, but sometimes we're trying to run
you're trying to get plays
and trying to do those things, but we call that touching the blue.
And then Rex came back with a fine ball game. I think this week, like say, bounce back. I think that's everybody kind of got that out of their mouth and the taste out of there, and they're back to playing, like you said, packed football. He played great, I thought.
I thought Rex really managed the game as we asked him to do, and made some key throws on 3rd down to move the chains. And I thought that he was really on point and did what we need to. And I'm very proud of the way Rex responded in this game, because we all know that Fort Lewis wasn't one of his best games, and he came back and responded.
And the defense gets the shutout. And one thing Joe and I both noticed, both cornerbacks, the starting cornerbacks, even though you're starting to filter the 2nd, 3rd teamers in there, they kind of said, you know what, we're going to stay out here because we kind of like this and we might get another chance. And they wanted to get the tie-breaking touchdown in the game.
Well, and you know who was like that? It takes me back to CJ and Steph.
Yeah.
Even in blowouts, those 2 guys were always on the field. They never wanted to come off the field. And I think it was because that was opportunities in late games, and teams are chucking it.
Yeah.
So they just see opportunities.
Well, it's the matter of pride of their position.
Exactly.
My area is better than your area. I can guard better than you. I can get another pick over you. And when you have that, you have an example of teams that are very competitive within themselves.
Well, we're getting a lot of questions already. I think I got 7 of them lined up. People are anxious. They're kind of excited. I think the excitement's back, John.
Well,
I don't know if it ever went away, but it seems like this week everybody's really tempered. They're kind of tempered, but they're back, and there are a lot of good questions coming in here today.
Well, I thought last week we had 8 questions at this time, so we'll see how it goes. We got the hot mic. We want questions from everybody.
We got good food.
Good. Someone can come up and try a nacho.
The Macho Nachos are where it's at, and I'm looking forward to diving into that. And we got Western State coming in this weekend. It's your final road game of the year. Like we always say, final home game, and it's just season went away so quickly at home. I mean, you have 2 games at home, and then you go on a run, but it's kind of that way. And here we are. All of a sudden, it's over.
Well, it's the end of October, and this is our gold box time we talk about. And we talk about our last 3 games about being the gold box, and I really believe that the things you do in this gold box really define who you are to be able to carry over, because you got to play yourself into the gold box. Well, we played ourselves in, and the reason why it's a gold box is because there's plenty of awards for your rewards of the way you play the game. And so that's why we call it the gold box, and we want to play our best ball at the end of the year, and we're slowly but surely are climbing up there.
I thought the fans were great as well this weekend. I mean, they responded at the start of the game. They were probably wondering, what team we were going to see today after the week before, but immediately I think they appreciated the effort, and they were into that game.
Well, I think sometimes the opposing teams realize that it gets loud here, and when people pound their feet on the in the stands, and the metal rattles, and people are cheering, and my goal, we still haven't had a 5-yard penalty yet because of noise, so we still have one more opportunity. We might have another opportunity, but we need everybody's support with that.
All right, we are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Come on down and join us. If you're in the house here and got a question for us, we got the hot mic. You can come over and ask here. We're taking questions at 719-671-7574. We got the World Series on some TV. Just saw Vin Scully coming off the TV. That was a nice ceremony there. The Nuggets are on, so we got all kinds of action taking place around the periphery. We got the Car Pros John Wristen. We have a nice crowd, but there's a few tables left here and there, and there you can always stand around. Stand at the bar if you want.
Stand on the bar if you want.
That'll be something. Maybe we can get you up there, Joe.
No, you don't want to see that.
That could be a sight to behold. But come back, come on out here and join us.
Support.
We're going to dive into the nachos, get some nourishment. We're kind of, we're taxed after that first segment. It takes soming out of you. So we're going to get it back here.
Hey, John. Well, I noticed your mom's not here, so you must have won last week.
I just was stating the fact that because if I'm up there with you too,
okay.
That's what I was saying. Not you alone.
We're going to have to get some more prizes
because your safety. I was thinking of your safety.
If we get you to, we might be able to get people to buy rounds for people here if you guys get up on it. That might be exciting. A donation.
There's not enough.
Get up there with Tundra. Tundra's in the house as well. That's always exciting. So come on out here and join us. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Car Pros John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Come on, Trey. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks along with Joe Cervi and the head coach, John Wristen. It is his show. It has his title.
Yeah, thanks for having us, John.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Johnny.
Part of the Three Stooges.
Ralph Turner never got us a show.
You know which one I am.
Yep. Three Stooges.
Remember when we used to do this, just you and me in the dungeon?
I remember listening.
We were back in the corner.
We were, and
we had Bobby Bonds with us.
We did have Ryan Kaufman, who still does radio, and we were in the dungeon.
That was cool. Yeah. All right, got questions coming in. Why don't we just get to the questions right now?
We'll go to the questions.
Because some of them relate to what I was going to talk about, because it's what's on everybody's mind, which came out this week.
It's John Wristen's show. Oh, look at Chris.
The pizza.
We got
more pictures.
These nachos are unbelievable.
So the Macho Nachos, people, are where it's at. This pizza is good.
They are very good.
I had one of these pizzas just like that on Saturday after the ball game. Took it home. Lorelei was happy.
Well, there you go.
As long as you have Lorelei happy, we are all happy.
So it was a little cold. It was about an hour and a half afterwards because the golfers were here. They had their alumni golf thing, the Ryder Cup. So I kind of sat here with Josh and the boys for Now, the microwave still worked on the pizza.
Well, that's what
it's like, all right, honey, here's the pizza. I'll warm it up for you. But this is a great place to come after the ball games, too.
Yep, yes.
Well, I'll tell you, I came here for lunch yesterday.
Yeah.
I had lunch with Rich Lane. He's going to the Greater Pueblo Sports Association Hall of Fame.
Oh, is he?
He's one of the 13 inducted this year. And at the Chieftain, we do profiles on everybody, and we split them up. And I drew Rich's name, so I'm going to do his profile. We're going to start those in early November because there's 13 of them, so we're going to do 13 consecutive days of profiles. And Rich and I came here and talked, and you've known him a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be in the story. People won't remember this, but it's he's been an assistant coach for 28 years, 25 of them unpaid. That just tells you about
giving back, right?
Yes, right there. That's all you need to know about that.
That's the story of Rich Lane right there.
That is. That's all you need to know.
Well, this is my 30-some-odd years of broadcasting. Never unpaid.
Well, your voice is your talent. It's your moneymaker. John's moneymaker.
I just thought I'd bring that up.
John's moneymaker is, we can't say that on the air.
There's a lot of listeners that wonder whether you should get paid.
Exactly.
And my moneymaker, right. My moneymaker says if they're paying me, I'm stealing it.
Well, John, the regional rankings came out on Monday. There's a pathway. I think some people think, oh, man, what's going to happen? Including me, I was looking it over, but I kind of went through all the schedule. But, a few things have to fall in line here. But, if things work out, I'm sure you're just worried about winning your 3 ball games and winning them soundly and doing a good job and playing packed football, and then things are going to take care of itself. That's what you got to believe.
That's beyond our control right now. We got to control what we can control, and that's beating Western State. It's coming with a great effort. I tell you, yesterday's practice was about as high intensity of Tuesday practice we've had in a long time. And normally we go 5-minute periods, but I cut it to 4 minutes. So we cut really 21 minutes out of practice. And we flew around and had an outstanding practice yesterday. And then today is a long day because we lift in the morning. It was hot out there today.
Yeah, it was.
And so we had a good practice today. Wasn't as great as yesterday, but I always look early on whether our kids are interested in going to go play. Say interested. Yeah. When you have that interest factor in the cause into going playing that week, you got a chance to go win a ball game. And that's what we did yesterday.
You were looking for somebody to yell at today.
Yes.
He went through coaches, he went through players, he was looking, then he looks at me, goes, I'm going to lay into you here in a minute, and then the next guy, and then the next guy. I thought,
I did yell at coaches, I did yell at players.
And you almost yelled at me.
But I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
We had a laugh about it because I could tell he was just, sometimes Bristol can roll him up pretty good sometimes, and sometimes if you're the player on the other end of the daily roll-up, you're in trouble because I've seen it get to the point where I feel bad for that player, and I feel bad for that player's psyche for the next 3 weeks because
it's not that bad.
I'm paying this a compliment. It's a compliment. But you always then pick him up.
You said worry about his psyche for the next 3 weeks. How is that a compliment?
Well, because he's going to have nightmares. Well, Bristol in your face that's a scary thing.
Well, I didn't yell at Aaron Eckhoff. He's here with his family, so he's okay. I didn't yell at him today, so he did good things, and so I'm not going to yell. How about his game he played on set?
5 catches, career high.
How about the first catch he got? Went up and on. I said he went up and
I pointed it.
That was awesome.
You know what's sad is when you're a tight end and you have the best game of your career and you catch a touchdown and you get a career high in catches and you're like the 5th best thing offensively that happened because everybody else was Marche with the 3 and the pick sixes and the shutout since the first time, and it's like you could pick 15 storylines of every game and you're like, hey, that tight end's pretty good.
Well, we're very lucky to have a lot of weapons. We don't have a guy that's in the top 10 of the RMAC catching balls. But if you look at everybody else in the balance of where we are, there's great things that are happening with that because we are able to distribute the ball the right way, and Rex has been able to get in a rhythm and been able to get that. So,
and one of the best things, like you're saying, one of the best things though is at the end of the games, you look at the receivers. There's 7 or 8 guys caught a pass.
Well, and just I'm pointing out Aaron. He's been one of these guys guys that came in this program. He's been here for 3 years. He's competed, and he's bought in. He's a great student. He's fun to coach. And this is his senior day. This is his opportunity, and we're going to honor all the seniors. If everybody gets to stands early, we're going to honor them about 1:25, and these 17 seniors are going to be special.
Well, speaking of seniors and tight ends, Zach Boyd injured in the ball game. How is he? Just kind of precautionary, kept him out of the ball game. I know he probably had a stinger, or a little bit more than a stinger on that shoulder.
Yeah, he's got a little soreness in it, but Zach's going to be able to suit up and play, and we'll see how it is. Today is his class day, so we don't get to practice. He doesn't get to practice on Wednesday. He's got a unique schedule with all his classes in the afternoon. We worked out where he can manage to get to practice and then get to classes. He's an automotive industrial engineer, and he's absolutely been a way to manage it. And it's a tough schedule, but Zach's going to suit up and play.
You know, if it would have been a closer game and a need-to play, he'd have been in there.
Right.
Because he's just on sheer toughness. I don't know how effective, because you're pretty banged up. But you've always had an embarrassment of riches at tight end.
Yep.
But that's by design. You know, there are very few programs that use tight ends like you use tight ends.
Yeah, when you got three of them on the field at a time, most of the time.
That three tight set, people look at that and go, okay, it's Eckhoff, Boyd, and Morgan Smith. Oh, okay. Jesus. It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, it's one of the nice luxuries that we have had. And, Zach Boyd was a high school quarterback that came here.
Fort Lupton.
Yep. And Aaron is originally from out of, he played some high school ball in Texas, but he graduated out of Salt Lake. And I always give him a bad time being a graduate out of Salt Lake, but no, he goes, I'm from Texas. Texas football strong. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan a little bit, but he's come on and has tremendous athletic ability. And, he hasn't been the guy that's always been a star, but he's always the guy that you can count on to go win ball games. And he's been very important to us.
And you like Preston Guerra. That was a name you dropped to me a long time ago. He goes, keep an eye on. I always ask him a couple of guys, under the radar, guys that you can kind of...
Number 9.
And all of a sudden he goes, do you watch this guy too? He goes, this is one of those guys that's got a bright future.
Well, we're trying to train him a little bit. I call him a smart, dumb guy sometimes, because he's a 4.0 student and does nothing, and then in practice you just look at him and go, really?
Yeah.
And, I've been known to challenge guys a little bit in practice and make sure their psyche's okay, but not for the next 3 weeks.
I think I struck a nerve there, Coach.
No, I'm just trying to point out that I use a sandwich method.
I know that. Start nice, get mean, end nice.
I try to do that.
I'm still waiting for the nice on either end.
So it's a mean sandwich?
I think... however you want to look at it. It's whether you want to get their attention.
That's where the mean.
It doesn't have to be mean, but it has to be.
All right.
I saw a great tweet today that says too many people today think correction is criticism.
Right.
And it's not. It's just do it this way because it's the right way, or this is the way we want you to do it.
I'm telling you, I see these young guys that we're coaching, and you're on them, and they go, "Well, I had this and I had that."
No, no talk back.
No. I mean, it's really different. You're so right. The correction. Yeah. They take it like you're belittling.
This isn't an argument.
No. And I really believe we live in this reset PlayStation society.
Yeah.
If it's wrong, I can just push the reset button and start all over. Well, you can't do that in game of life. You can't do that in game of football. And so we're going to challenge them, making sure they're better every day. So we want to take advantage of every minute of every practice to get better.
All right.
So we started talking about the regional rankings.
We're going to do that in the next segment.
We ended up talking about the tight ends.
And, I'm famished again. I need some more nourishment.
Well, are we taking a break?
Yeah, we're going to 4 minutes this time. It's just a long break, so we can really dig in. We got the pizza out here. We got the sliders. We got the macho nachos. We got the caprese. Joe's caprese, by the way. Can you tell? Joe thought I was making fun of the caprese on Saturday during the broadcast. He goes, don't make fun of my food. I go, no, it's gourmet. I said it's kind of highbrow.
It's the healthiest thing you can eat in this place.
Healthiest thing.
It's a little, I don't want to say it's too classy for us.
Oh, it's way too classy
for me. It's too classy for you. Okay, all right. That's what I'm getting at.
But it eats pretty good.
It does indeed. Car Pros John Wristen Show. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Taking questions in the next segment. We've got the live mic. 719-671-7574, 671-7574. Come back and join us here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Car Pros John Wristen Show here at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. The hot mic is ready. John, without further ado, let's go to the hot mic.
Hi, John. Hi, Coach. Excuse me.
There you go. Mr. Coach.
Wow. Mr. Head Coach to you.
I have a two-part question for you.
Let's hope I can answer both parts.
Okay. First one. In the 10 years, how has your coaching evolved, your coaching style? And the second part is currently in the season for this year, how has coaching changed from the beginning of the season to where you are right now based on wins and losses?
Well, I think the first question, I think it's an evolution of where you are building a career. I think the first couple years you had to set a foundation because you could never go back and do that again. And I think I had really high expectations, and there was a minimal amount of wiggle room, if you want to say. And I think that with that being said, the standard had to be laid to pass down to what the pack tradition would be. And what we want the pack tradition to be is that we go and we play for each other. And when you sit in the stands, I want to see someone that goes, God, I want what those guys have. I want those guys to have a lot of fun. And I think the third part of that is my goal is to maximize each kid and maximize their potential. And potential is a deadly word, but I want them to realize, I want them to put their head down, go to work, and understand the competition is the 6 inches between your ear. And if you can manage that, and we can get that done, I think we got something accomplished. Has it changed over the years? Yeah, it changes with every kid. But I still think there's a high expectations of what way we try to do it. And our core values of trust, faith, and patience have to be able to be brought in with being able to tie it into every decision you're going to make. And so has your coaching changed where you're yelling or screaming or you moving? I think with new people with your staff and have to manage 134 plus and get everybody on the same page, yeah, I think you got to be flexible and adjust. And so the changes, I don't know if I have a book called The Changes here, but you got to change every friggin' day to get things done the right way that for each issue. The way you treat players, the way you handle players, the way you do those things. I've made a lot of mistakes. But I think the thing that I really believe in is accountability and saying, hey, I screwed up here, and let's have a trust factor, because I can say that we've done that. So, and then the last part is, has my coaching changed because of the wins or losses, basically, is what you're asking. Well, I do think that as a head coach, you get way too much credit when you win. Okay? And I should have all the issues when we lose. I shouldn't have. I got to take responsibility for that. And so for us to move forward, I believe it starts with me. It starts with me and the decisions that are made and how we're going to do it. Whether you are able to take accountability the way to get a kid's ready to go. So when you win or lose, there's a different dynamics with that. There's an old saying in coaching, when you win, you coach them harder. When you lose, you love them up and try to demand it a different way. And so I think that, I don't know if that answered your question, but in a sense, that's how I look at our evolution of coaching here at Cesar Pueblo.
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, there wasn't a lot of love last week.
Well,
you loved them up to death.
Well, I thought it was love.
All right.
Tough love.
Big Wayne's got a question. Chime in there, Wayne.
It's really more of a statement or my own personal shout out. My traveling partner, Ted Shepard, who couldn't be here tonight because he had conferences at school, but he goes to all those games with me. He's been all over for the last 3 years. The biggest Pack supporter I know. So shout out to Ted since I got one, and a big thank you to his wife Leslie for letting me drag him all over creation and go to the games.
We've got to do that, and we sure appreciate you guys doing that. Last year when I was on the in-state committee, I'm in Kansas City. We go to this function. I look and I go, there's Wayne and Ted right there, and Connor was with you too. And so I look over there and says, hey, there's CSU Pueblo fans right there. And I was all fired up to go over there and show everybody. So thank you for all your support. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Wayne. I wonder if his partner has his iHeartRadio app on his phone, is in conferences with the little earpiece.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it. I've seen people do that at weddings, for ball games. I think you just got to cheer when the game's on.
Well, there's one guy that doesn't do it. I don't listen to you on the field, so I just want to make sure I don't put my ear.
You should.
Well,
we got all the answers.
That's what I was just going to say. I've heard you got all the answers.
We do. We can tell you exactly what we see from up there.
You got them after the facts.
Well, yeah.
That's why you're radio show host. That's
right.
why I'm a coach.
That's right.
Well, as Tony Bruno say, let's go to the phones. All right. Just wondering what your thoughts on the regional rankings are.
Well, I think we're right where we should be. I think there's a lot of football to be played in the next 3 weeks. We control our own destiny. I believe there will be 4 to 6 teams with 2 losses. We will have the best win out of all those teams. And so that should put us in a great criteria right there for discussion.
And that win will be over Mesa.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll buy that. I got it all broke down here. It's on my on the old Jim Brooks fan page on Facebook, John. I don't see you like many things on my page. I never see any comments or hi there or anything on it, but we've got
I didn't know.
I got a copy of this on there.
I didn't know if it was Brooks and Dumb or was I trying.
Well, that's the other page. That's the comedy page. I've seen you on that one.
I can't keep up with it.
I thought
that's the off-season.
No gargle shots on the Jim Brooks fan page. Well, we got it broke down here. A lot of games, 5 key games this weekend, I guess. And the last weekend, there are a lot of things that could shake out with teams that are battling for conference titles. And you're probably hoping the undefeated team beats the one-loss team is the way it's probably got to shake out for you in a lot of those situations.
Correct. You said it just right there because you got a fan page.
All right. By the way, look who's listening tonight. I know the listeners at home get, but Bartholomew, a.k.a. Sam.
Oh.
Tundra's buddy is listening to the show tonight. Right there with his little doggy radio.
Well, Tundra just said hello.
Tundra's a beaut. All right, here's a kind of an off the reservation question here, Joe or Johnny. And Joe,
I'll answer.
Because it's more of our. Where do you guys eat before the game on game days here in town?
Here at home?
Yeah.
We eat up at the cafeteria, at the Columbine Cafe. We have a standard breakfast menu, and then we have roast beef and mashed potatoes, and we have omelet bar, and so we have a guest coach that comes in and gives a little talk to the team. Last week was Chris Bonner. The week before it was Jesse Lewis, and this week we got Josiah Flack.
Nice. All right, who's quarterback going to be this weekend? Have you made a decision yet?
Yeah.
You'll let us know Saturday.
Come on out.
All right, that's good. I like it.
No, Rex is going to start. Rex is going to be the guy. He's earned that right. He's a senior. I think Brandon, I haven't seen the film yet from today's practice, but what I've seen, we'll get an opportunity to play. And I'm glad we got this young freshman kid. We're going to keep giving him reps. AJ has not responded for treatment like we thought 2 weeks ago. Brandon's ready to go. We will decide that tomorrow morning after hearing everything. But Rex is our guy right now.
Sometimes that's what. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, what is your philosophy as a former player and a coach? If a starter gets hurt, does he come back and he's still the starter, or does the guy have the hot hand, or is it the Wally Pip? You sit down a game and then all of a sudden you don't ever get your position back. Some coaches say you can't lose your position due to injury.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you try to have a hard, fast, steady rule. And I think that in this situation, Rex has earned the right to be the starter in this game. And I believe that he's going to continue to carry that. And we are going to play Brandon. And we'll play the guy that's hot.
Does it bother you that you get a question like that after a 49-0 win?
No. I mean, that's part of the territory when you do have a starter that's coming back. And Brandon played very well, and he deserves that opportunity. And those injuries are part of managing the game. And it's just one of those things. In this game, Rex is going to be the starter. And we're going to, if Brandon, after looking at tape, and we're going to make that decision tomorrow morning, Brandon gets the opportunity, but this Gunnar Lampere has done a nice job. And so after both AJ getting hurt after the first game, and then Brandon getting hurt after the second and a half game, we can say that I'm really proud of the way Rex has led this program, and he deserves this opportunity.
You'd probably like to get Brandon in a few plays at home to see how he responds before you go on those final 2 road trips too.
Well, we again, I think we'll see how it is.
Right.
We'll try to make that decision, but I think the way I observed a little bit of practice and be able to do those things, I think he feels healthy enough to play.
Got a listener who wants to hitch a ride with us, Joe.
Yeah, no thanks. There's only a few people will let that car, and that list is very, very small.
I guess they're talking maybe about the trip where we don't quite make it to Vegas. That's in a couple weeks when we go down there to Washington, Utah, or St. George, Utah.
We couldn't even get a room in St. George.
Yeah.
And then the team's staying in Cedar City, Utah, which is an hour away.
Right.
From St. We're staying in Beaver, Utah, which is an hour and a half away from St. George.
We are playing Western State this week, guys.
No, this is a travel question.
I'm just trying to tell the travel question. We play in Western State. You guys can handle that on your own travel agent time.
You know what they can do for this week's game?
Show.
You know what they can do this week, Joe? They can walk with us from the parking lot into the stadium.
Okay.
That's
make that deal. Meet us out front 3 hours ahead of. Well, I'm there 3 hours. You show up 2 hours.
Pack walk.
But
to do the pack walk.
Yeah. Be our own pack walk. All right. So thanks for being rebuffed or rebuked. I guess that's more like a rebuke.
And I'm telling you,
from the head coach.
He's coaching everybody up hard.
He was looking for somebody. He was looking for somebody to get to, and he got to me.
He's coaching everybody up hard today, Jim.
All right. I don't think I got any more questions for you, John.
Anything else you want to talk about? Take the bus up to the campus, too, from downtown. The bus service is really good to drop you off. You might have to do the pack walk with us, too. But that's this week. We're playing Western State this week.
I know. But the people just... Okay, never mind.
We can't force the question.
Do that on your fan page.
I got the question.
You get a travel page then.
I should. That'd be fun. That's another to-do list.
Yeah, get a travel
page. All right. We'll get a GoPro camera and we'll take video of all that. That could be exciting.
We got the Car Pro show.
We got a GoPro on the Car Pros.
I am just like Doug Nardini. I don't want any video evidence.
Now, before we spin further off the rails,
I thought you had more questions.
No, I don't. They're all done.
There's 7 questions you had.
Well, 3 of them were the same question. After I went through them.
Well, and Mrs. Robinson's was a 3-parter.
Yeah.
Wasn't she special in that green outfit?
Oh, it was a 2-part question that he answered in 3 parts. He went 1, 2, and C.
Well, it is the political season. John is going to be running for council soon.
We have lost all control.
There is no control right now because Western State, Jazz Baines didn't call me back today and it hurt my feelings a little bit.
Well, I got some things we'll talk about Western State, but on the backside, because it was kind of cool this weekend. We'll come back after this timeout. Car Pros, John Wristen Show. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House, right here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
And welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Tundra is excitable over there, Johnny.
What'd you feed her?
I just pet her. I just gave her a little bite of, she was all excited.
Sausage slider, maybe?
And you made a point, though, that it was what I've been trying to stress the whole time, is that you notice that in our game, we came out and we played fast. And that has a lot of different meanings. But in all reality, playing fast is about doing your job, doing what you're supposed to, and have some fun doing it. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, we didn't get that done.
Yeah.
And I think you sure may see that difference. And when Tundra was going after, you go, boy, she played fast because she wanted it.
Body language.
She wanted it, and she was able to go get that done. Well, that's the same thing as coaching a football team. You got to find out what's the want to and be able to get that out of them.
Well, we noticed that with Black Hills. Joe picked up on it. We did the old body language test, and Black Hills about that third quarter.
They were done. They were, and you know that. And you're a fan of John Reiner's. I don't know what he said after the game to you, but he was shell shocked, and his players. I don't want to say quick because you always hate to say that because you got to give them a little bit of credit. It was just a beatdown, but they were done midway through the third. We're done.
Well, I think after the opening series when we got the turnover, Brandon Perry got the turnover. And it's funny on film, you look at it, and there's 2 or 3 guys that are standing around from Black Hills.
Yeah.
Brandon comes around and gets there, he runs there, and all of a sudden he sees the ball, and he's on it. And then Black Hills reacted. That's what I'm talking about, playing fast.
Squirrel.
That's about seeing him be able to do that. And then all of a sudden, we see Marche, we call 12 bounce, and he comes one-on-one on the safety, and we get great leverage, we block it, one-on-one, and he breaks the tackle and we go. So that really was one of those things that you really needed at that point. Let's say we gave up a drive there because Black Hills has come back and scored a lot of points in the second half. And so when we're able to get that quick touchdown like that, that helps take that momentum away.
Well, I think that's what they've done to you the last couple times we've been up there. It seems like they've had the bounce back ability, I guess. They come back in a ball game.
They just didn't quit. I mean, they always had a lot of fight to them. And they got 30 Colorado kids plus on that team, so you expected them to play a little bit harder than what we saw. But, hey, when you break somebody's spirit, and it happens, you've seen it happen, and that's what you're trying to do as a football team and a football coach and a staff is you're trying to break the will of that other team, and you certainly did that.
Well, go ahead, John.
Yeah, that's what the goal is.
Yeah, I mean
that's
kicking their ass is kicking their ass, but it's just to break their will to fight back is when they tap out and there's still a quarter and a half to go. It's like, whoa, okay.
Well, I don't know if they tapped out that point, but I think that we validated how our cause for that game was. And that's my point.
Sure.
Because every minute, every second we talk about is that process to be able to get done. And I really felt that was one of the key games that probably go unnoticed. But we don't give up a drive. They only get over. And we failed to talk about this the whole time. Our defense choked them out.
Yes.
And you guys all want to talk about all those other things, but the reality of that was our defense played absolutely outstanding. We only had 192 yards we gave up. 52 of it was on one play.
Right.
And then they had a 7-yard run, 8-yard run coming out of our end zone down here.
Right.
And those were the 2 biggest plays. And so you take those away, and we've done a great job. And I think we talked about when's the last time we had a shutout. And, I said I believe 14 was our national championship, but we had one other one against Adams State on 15. And so I looked that up also because I wasn't quite sure.
All right. One guy you don't have to face this weekend. It was kind of cool this weekend. We're talking about Western State.
Yeah.
I mean, he played a fabulous game. He was the best back they have. I know Gordon's a great back, but he's coming back from a little bit of injury. You're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers, but Austin Eckler, he played phenomenal football in that game. Had a touchdown. He runs. He talk about playing fast, John. He gets to the edge. They run that little swing pass to him to get the touchdown. He's got a chance to be a star in this league, not just a role player, I think.
He's a really good football player, and so we have I'm glad I tried to get him come out after his junior year and say he would have been a draft choice and wrote all those things up because he's a special back that's been in this league and a special talent. Very, very proud of a Colorado kid, represent himself in a first-class manner because he's a self-made guy. And whether he went to school at Western or anywhere else, I'm very proud of what he's done.
Well, it just shows what the scouts don't see. They didn't draft him. He got signed free agent. It makes you wonder what other guys, if they just, you got to get a chance and get in there. And we've seen players come through this program.
Well, I mean, look at the numbers he put up in the program he played and where he played. I mean, you don't get much more obscure than Western State and Gunnison.
Yeah.
No offense. I mean, you just don't. And so to come out like that, it was the same thing with Denny Wood and Shadron, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at least that's a kind of had a football history to it, and O'Boyle had some lots of ties there. But I love these D2 guys. Ryan Jensen, he gets graded out every week. There's a pro football grading system, and he gets graded out every week as one of the top centers in the NFL. Even when they lose it, he gets graded high.
That's good. And you play this Western State Ball Club, so that's obviously a big hole for them to fill. They've struggled this year. What's your impressions of this ball club?
I'm telling you that this game can be really a setup game for us, and meaning that if we can buy in on all the stuff everybody's saying, and it really can be a setup game. But the reality of this is they're a very, very young football team. They lost 30-some seniors last year.
Right.
And so it's taken them a while to have the young freshmen that they're playing and some sophomores to buy into what they want done. But I'm telling you, every game they're playing hard. And that's a mark of kids listening to their coaches. It's different than you watch a Highlands team, and I'm using that as an example. It's different than watching some other teams. But this team plays hard, and they've gotten better every week. And that's what I really, really admire about what Jazz and those Todd Auer and those guys have done with that program. Their offensive coordinator went with Coach Hughes down to Western State. And so we have a lot of respect for their program, and they've done a great job, and they're fundamentally sound. Their defense is going to be all over the place. It's going to make sure that we get target right, and it's going to be a challenge.
Well, they don't score a lot of points. The thing I noticed about them stat-wise, because you just got to go by what they do, is they're a minus 15 in turnovers. They've put the ball on the carpet and been picked off, I think, 14 times, just in interceptions alone. So, they have a penchant for turning the ball over.
Yeah, we got a chance to really just take this game as one of our games to go 1-0 this week.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Of course, it's another Saturday afternoon at the Thunderbolt, 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll be on the air here on Fox Sports Pueblo at 1:30 with the Thunderbolts pregame show. Of course, we always have an interview with head coach John Wristen as part of that, so I hope you can join us for the broadcast. Better yet, come on out to the ballpark and watch the Thunderbolts on Senior Day this Saturday afternoon. Special thanks to our producer and engineer tonight of the Car Pros John Wristen Show. It's Caitlin Norton. My partner's Joe Cervi. Thanks, of course, to the head coach, John Wristen. Thanks for Tundra to come out tonight. Thanks for all of our questions that people texted in. Thank our guests for giving their question here as well. I'm Jim Brooks reminding you, we'll talk to you on Saturday afternoon. Good night, everybody.
Go Pack!
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. Tune in again next week at the same time for all things CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football. Only on Fox Sports 1350, KCCY Pueblo.